This is Black Myth Wukong. We're here on the PlayStation 5 Pro taking a look at a surprise update to the game. Be sure to like the video, subscribing is great as well. So we already got the PlayStation 5 Pro enhancement for Black Myth Wukong Monkey Souls, I think about a year ago at this current point in time. And the game recently released for Xbox, the Series X, the Series S, and then we were given sort of the surprise update to the game, so I thought I'd jump in and take a look at it and talk about it on the platform here. You know what's hilarious, and I really wish I would have kept that cut of the video? When I hit the pots the first time when going to do this, it actually crashed the whole game. So I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if it's going to do it again, but yeah, it was kind of funny. So this is the quality mode. So the game has introduced like a fourth new mode where they get rid of like the lighting technology that was at play here, and like the removal of frame gen, which should excite people, but you lose the lighting. And the idea here is they're supposed to improve the clarity of the experience across the different modes with this particular update. So we're going to be diving in and just kind of talking about these different visual mode profiles and how they adjust the game. And there is quite a few settings to this, so there is quite a lot to go over when diving in. And if you are the developer or whatever behind this game, I would certainly like to have a code for this on PlayStation so I can do more in-depth stuff in the future. But anyways, yeah, we're running off a limited time basically when it comes to taking a look at this game on the Pro, which is a shame, but it is what it is. So yeah, we've got 4 different modes. We're currently showing off the quality mode, which is not a mode I would recommend playing at all because it's an action game. And it's more of a mode where it's sort of like you want to see what the game can look like when it's kind of visually really cool. This is what you kind of would turn on and just be like, oh, this is kind of what it looks like. Neat. So if you're using quality or balanced modes, Pisser's in play, so that's going to enhance your experience there. This is a 1620p from an eternal, because everything is like temporally scaled due to the engine. So it's like, again, trying to output 1620p with an internal of like 1080p-ish at 30 FPS. So I would not recommend playing at this mode, but I wanted you to see the visuals as we go across this. Next up, we are going to the balance mode, which should be called balanced, but you get what you get. So for this mode, this is a little bit better. This is almost maybe what you should be playing when you play this game, as odd as that sounds. If you don't have a 120 Hz display, this mode is kind of strange. But if you do, it's quite cool. So, alright, let's talk about this. It's targeting 4K, again, quote unquote, but it's like internally 1300-ish p, and it's a 40 FPS target. So, if you don't have VRR, this one is like a weird 40-something-ish. If you have a 120 Hz display VRR, you're getting like a 40 FPS sort of target. So it's like kind of the bells and whistles of a better visual experience, but also getting, the clarity, getting the fluidity a little bit more, and it just feels a lot better to play, and it's actually like a pretty good looking mode. I mean, you still get the weird, like sort of ugly, like when you pan, I don't know if you can see that on your TV, but it's sort of like the blur around the characters and stuff is still, like it's still got that like look to it. And I mean, Pisser is Pisser for what it does, but I think it's actually like a pretty good visual result when you're taking a look at this game. Now, before we do change it again, I just want you to really kind of take in the look, the lighting, everything like that, and we're going to switch over to the performance mode on this one. So as you can see there's performance mode and there's performance mode legacy. So performance mode is new. So the idea with performance mode is they are removing some of the lighting stuff, removing the frame gen, and sort of going for a kind of more of like a pre-baked game in order to achieve the 60 FPS here from 1080p. So yeah, you do get the fluidity. It is like a better kind of like running game, if that makes sense. It's still strangely like I don't know if you would call it like a native sort of 60 FPS. Like, it still feels like it's not. You get what I mean? It still doesn't quite have that sort of regular vibe of actually just hitting the frame rate, so it's a bit odd. But, you know, it's kind of a better way of playing and actually getting 60 FPS. And then we've got the Legacy performance mode. So this one kind of keeps that, like, fuzziness and that blurriness. See, now this, you can really see the visual, like, changes here. Okay, so, like, it's a lot blurrier in how it's doing its stuff. So this is actually taking it a little bit higher, the performance mode. You can just see, like, the level of detail within the environment looks a lot sharper. Actually, like, the resolution stuff is kind of a lot more impressive here, which is quite neat. But you do lose the way that the lighting is done. Now, just if you were looking at the character, and how dark the character is, and how dark the scenery is, when you switch between them, it is quite a noticeable change in the light. Again, just if you can center on the character, you could see that you can see details of, like, you know, sort of the fur, the lighting. You know, it's kind of a gray sort of look. And then when we go over here to the new performance mode, you can just see it's, like, dark, because it's just like the lighting is, yeah, they went to, like, a pre-bake kind of thing. So that's sort of what you're dealing with here. Other improvements, boss fight optimization and cinematic optimizations. So the game will run a little bit better when you're going to do certain boss fights and scenarios within this game. So that will be improved. And they've also enhanced, in general, frame rates. They've worked on making the frame rate smoother as a target, and visual clarity is a big focus for the balanced and the quality mode, but it kind of already was, so, you know, anyways. Basically, the game is, it's improved in some ways, but I don't know if everyone's going to be thrilled. Like, I don't know, it's like it's a downgrade to get an upgrade in one area. But you still get the old mode, which I think is good to have as an option. If that makes any sense, like, it's good that you can still choose the regular option of the Legacy performance mode, so that the game still has, you know, that visual kind of aesthetic and vibe to it. And yeah, because it really just, it comes down to lighting here is what it is, which is quite interesting. But I do think, like, from a handling perspective, the game does feel a lot better compared to the sort of frame gen Legacy target that you're getting here. It is weird though that from a, like, a profile standpoint, that we're not seeing more gains from the PS5 Pro, if that makes sense. Like, it's a bit odd that it seems to really just be sharing this kind of profile with, like, the base PS5. So it's a little confusing that they didn't, you know, kind of push that a little bit further along, as it just would have... I think it would have added a bit to the experience, personally, to get this, like, pushing there. So if we just, again, this scene area probably is, like, a pretty good area to kind of showcase just, again, the lighting differences between these modes. Like, you're still getting the same sort of thing. It's still trying to be, like, you know, it's attempting to do 60 FPS at this resolution, but it looks so much... It does look a lot better with, like, the new mode, but, like, the lighting is not as... Yeah, it's just not as impressive of a lighting system, but I get what they were going for with that. And I'm actually, like, honestly, I'm quite surprised that they did this. Because, yeah, you don't get the fuzz. I don't know how well that's going to show up on your TV either, but if you look at the waterfall and you look at the difference between the two modes, a lot of it is kind of like, sort of, you get this awful kind of like fuzz thing on the waterfall. Like sort of right where the tree is kind of cresting over, I can see all these little like dots and things over there, like really, really kind of intensive dots, which look kind of terrible. This has got a photo mode. I wonder if that would show up on a well, no, cameras always change things, don't they? Yeah, they do. They always mess with things, which doesn't help anyways. Photo mode. Let's see what it does for the photo. Oh no, it retains that. Okay, good, 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 good. Okay, cool. So if we look over here and we look right there, you can see the fuzzy stuff, the fuzzy crap. There we go. So you can see the fuzzy crap. Okay, cool, 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 cool. There we go, right on. Because usually the camera mode, it like messes with, like it does its own little thing on top of like more fancier settings. And that's usually not a good thing for video games because then you can't see it. So if we go over here and we kind of zoom in, you'll notice that the water is no longer exhibiting the fuzzy scratches from a visual standpoint. So it is a cleaner picture. It really is, like, it's actually a cleaner picture that we're seeing, and that's probably due to not using the frame gen stuff, right? Like, it's actually kind of like a pretty good-looking game, but it's not, like, in motion and stuff. In motion, it looks kind of cool, too, with all, like, the particle effects, but I think you get what I'm sort of understanding here with the lower target, what they're kind of doing with it, which is quite interesting. It actually does visually look like quite a big bump up. I wonder if that's just... It can't be purely due to the lighting. It must be also due to how it's handling the rendering in the environment, doing something that's more like a... I wouldn't say a native solution, but a better solution compared to the other way that it was achieving the visuals and the performance. Yeah. I really should have not wasted my health thingy, but... whatever. I don't even know if you have to fight this guy. I killed him before. Yeah, I killed him on Xbox. I did like a stream of this. I was monkey souling it up. I was going really intense, but I really want to get across like what this new mode does and how it can improve your experience for this game if you're playing it. Because I think it's really, you know, it's quite exciting to get upgrades to games like this. And at first I was a little confused when I was getting prompted by folks to, like, take a look at this. Like, it was kind of actually genuinely surprising. I was like, oh, they did, like, an update? I was like, okay, well, that doesn't really matter too much. But then I was like, oh, okay. You know, this is interesting that they're doing this. Because I really wasn't expecting them to do any more updates for it. I was kind of like, oh, you know, this is sort of done. And it was just released. But yeah, no, a surprise thing. I'll keep my eye up. I mean, I'm running out of time on this to really showcase more of it. But, you know, it's kind of a pleasant surprise when you kind of hear about updates and you go take a look and you're like, oh, okay, cool. I'm interested in what they're doing. I still think... You know, it's disappointing when you can't win at everything. Like, I'm looking forward to playing this on the... Like, I'm assuming when the PlayStation 6 comes out in the not-too-distant future that this gets, like, an update. And then we can get something that's sort of, like, really pushing all the boundaries. Because, like, balance mode is still something I would be like, okay, this is probably what I would say would be a good balance of visuals and stuff. But I like this mode. Actually, I like the, I like this performance mode because, like, on one hand, we're sacrificing technical elements. You know, the lighting is, you know, it's not as good. Like, it's a pre-baked kind of thing. But at the same time, it feels way better, and you kind of like fluidity or desire fluidity when you're playing a game like this, because it's so Souls-like. You know, with the fast-paced action movements, and it's a bit of basically like a boss rush game, is what it is. Yeah, the more and more I played it, I was like, yeah, it's basically like a boss rush game, and you kind of want those faster inputs. that you're getting here. And I think this actually should be a pretty pleasing improvement for a lot of people. Probably should do upgrades or whatever too. I don't know, I'm just kind of rolling around in this. Not really taking it as seriously as I, because I was streaming it when I was taking it a bit seriously, but...
Keep quiet. You don't want
no.
that beast. In the backyard is Blackwind Guai's ally. Calls itself Ling Shutsu.
Ling Shushu.
Your strength, I suggest you get away while you can, little monkey.
I will offer incense. Anyways, it's a nice little upgrade to the game. It was a good little bump up. And as I said, I really genuinely did not anticipate this kind of an improvement. It's like a nice little surprise. Oh, I collected all of that? Okay. I must rest. Reignite the sparks of freedom. And become more powerful than you could ever imagine. There we go. Let's put on that cool outfit before we keep going. Actually, where do we do that? Start button? There we go. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I still have the basic wooden staff. I think on Xbox I got some kind of like... oh, that's awesome. I got some kind of like special edition thing or something like that, and it gave me some better gear. It made it a lot easier when you got like a better club to kill stuff with. And armor in that. Makes a world of difference when you're fighting these things. But yeah, I mean the different parts of the game you play too, you're gonna take in more and more of things, as in like more demanding. I think you'll notice a larger change. I have 30 minutes remaining. Oh no. I think you'll notice a larger change if you go to play like the mountainous sandy regions and stuff, and the lighting adjustments. Like, it's not bad looking, but it definitely does lose a little bit of the charm and whatnot that you got with some of the lighting improvements. And I just wish we could kind of get the best of both worlds, and I'm assuming that'll be like a PS6 thing, because I'm assuming the technology improvement that we're going to see there will be enough to deliver, these types of games on a lot more of a scale. But it must be like some kind of engine adjustment and technology improvement too, and we'll have to see what that looks like down the road at that time when they go to do those sort of improvements in the years to come, because I'm thinking this is going to be a long-term thing. I know they're doing more with this series, and I would imagine they'll probably take care of the first game too, but we'll have to wait and see with Black Myth Wukong where it goes, because I'm certain this type of journey is not done yet. It's a lot less blurry compared to the frame gen. I was actually doing okay there for a bit. No, seriously, like, it is a lot clearer visually. That is for sure. Damn you, Lingzu. Lingazu? Lingzu. In the Guan Temple. But yeah, no, it really is like boss rush souls, right? You kind of go from one area to the next fighting giant things. There's like little bits of enemies in between, but for the most part you find to the death. It honestly wasn't too bad when I was running through this on like the Xbox side of things as far as like difficulty was going. I was doing a lot better than I'm doing today, but yeah, it takes effort to actually make it through this stuff, and it's mostly about showing you the improvements, showing you the adjustments, and then, presenting that across the 4 different modes. So something new to try out. I don't know if it's going to be like a revolutionary thing for you, where you're like, oh, this feels input-wise a lot better for performance mode, and that kind of would be your sort of gateway to coming back in on this if you were maybe having not finished it or wanting to do more with it, I guess. But yeah, it really depends on the type of player you are and whether or not your Souls experience needs to continue, I guess. But there you go, a little bit more Black Myth Wukong here on the PlayStation 5 Pro with its enhancement and the offerings that it provides for you.